Welcome to Sliver and Bite TV. Let's make Birria Tacos. An amazing, flavoursome dish that you'll spend more time ignoring than actually cooking, as you will have the first part of it in the fridge for up to 12 hours, and then when you're ready to cook, have it on a slow simmer for 5 hours. For a more condensed version of this recipe, click the banner above. On a high heat, we are going to roast our ancho and our Guajillo chillies. These come in a dried form that you can get from any great market that has a great spice store. What I've done off camera is split up the center and remove the seeds and fillet it so it has as much contact with the base of the pot so you can actually almost burn them. This intensifies the taste. These chilies are quite mild. They are more of a dried capsicum or pepper than they are chili. At this stage, you'll probably be mistaken that they're actually burnt, but as you can see with the picture here, they're actually quite dark before putting them in the pot. Just turning off the heat and getting a jug because I will be filling this with some boiling water. Transfer your chilies into the jug. And we're going to pour enough water over it just to cover it. It is up to you whether or not you would like to use some of the stock that comes off of the chilies that will intensify your birria. They will soak there while you prepare the rest of the ingredients for 20 minutes. In with your olive oil. And your medium onion that's been quartered. I am trying to split it apart so that it caramelizes more of it than just the outer part of the onion, because more caramelization equals more taste. We'll have this on for approximately 5 minutes. Now in with your tomatoes. This will be on for a further 5 to 10 minutes. We're essentially softening this now because once the chilies are in their water for 20 minutes, we are going to use a stick blender to blitz it. This is roughly 15 minutes on, so now in with the 5 garlic cloves. May seem like a lot, however, this will be on the simmer for a long time, so it won't be such a strong garlic taste. So with some tongs, just separating the chilies out and putting them straight into the pot, reserving that juice for later on if you so wish to add it in at a later stage. And now we're in with the rest of the flavorings. Your salt, your cumin, ginger, and cinnamon. 1 cup of beef stock. And your half cup of apple cider vinegar. Just placing that off to the side. Ready to get the stick blender out. And lastly, a teaspoon of ground black pepper and some annatto paste. And then a series of short bursts, otherwise you will just splash all of the ingredients everywhere. Once you've done a series of the small blitzes and you've got more of a liquid, you can run it for a little longer. It doesn't have to be a perfectly smooth paste. We are just mixing the beef in and having this marinate for 12 hours. You can already see by this paste just how flavoursome this is going to be. You could certainly do this in a blender or in a food processor. However, if you are using plastic and not glass, be warned, the mixture, because of the tomato and the chillies, it may stain plastic. So just be warned, you don't want to discolour your cookware. That's looking brilliant. Now we're going to just add in that beef, mix it around, and then put it in the fridge and forget about it for 12 hours. We're using a relatively cheap cut of meat here. It will tenderize with the marination process and the long cook. Make sure that all of the beef is completely covered in the marinade. And if you are impatient, a couple of hours would be okay. However, if you want the authenticity of the birria taco, overnight is best. And this is it, the magic of TV. It's been overnight. So we're turning on just to a medium heat at the moment, just to get the heat through it. I'm pouring in the remaining beef stock. So this is 3 cups. I'm going to put in a cup of the reserved chilli stock. And then roughly chopping these smoked / roasted tomatoes. I was fortunate enough that Stoneville Barbecue was smoking a brisket this same weekend. They only need to be roughly chopped. They'll basically disappear into the mixture with the 5-hour simmer. then that's into the mixture, which will be slightly warming. Remember, it's just come from the fridge, so it's quite cold. A quick wipe down before we proceed. And then mix all of that together. You don't want it to start coming to heat and then splashing everywhere, because it'll find its little air pockets as it's heating up. Better view here. Keep on mixing this until you start seeing it simmer. At this stage, we are still on a medium to medium high heat, just to get the heat through it. And I'll do a little time lapse here. Okay, now that we're at a rolling simmer, we can give that one mix and then reduce down to the lowest heat possible, roughly 60 degrees Celsius. I do move between 60 to 80 degrees Celsius. You just want a light simmer. We're going to put the lid on, and every 45 minutes come and give it a stir, but we are basically just leaving this be for 5 hours. This is 5 hours on, and you can see how dark the mixture has become now. And that meat is just so succulent and so tender, it will fall apart. I am separating some of the stock so that we can dip our tacos into it. There are many ways to do this. You could put the whole mixture into a strainer and completely separate it, or you can just use a ladle like I'm doing now, making sure you're not getting too much of the meat and any of the solids in. You'll see that I am presenting my finished product in a fresh tortilla. However, you can completely submerge your tortilla wrap into this mixture, the separated mixture from the meat, and put into a fry pan with some cheese, then add your meat. Close over and sear for a few minutes. That is just one of the many ways to present the birria taco. And now with a slotted spoon and my wooden spoon, I'm going to shred the meat. It is literally just mashing onto that spoon. Absolute perfection. I must say, I am editing this a good 3 days after this cook, and I am salivating. Honestly, the taste is unreal. You would think with the amount of chillies that is in it that it would be hot and it would be a little overbearing, but it's not. It's such a well-rounded, savory taste. Honestly, it'll be something that you can cook on the weekend and then eat for dinners and lunches throughout the week. And once you have shredded all of the meat, you're able to serve. And the best way to do this is directly out of the pot you cooked it in. Just have your tortillas and your chips around to dip and to create, because this is a communal dish and it is best served in the center of the table. I am separating just a bowl of the meat just so that it's easy for many people. And you can use one for your tacos and the other for your tortilla chips. So the way I'm serving it is on a fresh, fluffy tortilla. So just a couple of scoops of the meat with some jalapeno, some cilantro or coriander, and just a little bit of sour cream. Tucking in the end so I don't have the mixture run down my arm. And I'm going to do a little tortilla chip now, sour cream with some of the meat, and then down the hatch. And now in for my second bite of the taco. We are dipping that into that reserved mixture. Thanks for joining me for Birria Tacos. Don't forget to check out the rest of what Sliver and Bite has to offer right here on YouTube. See you soon.